Hi, I'm Clay from Silver Square, and today I am going to assume in this video that you are already on board with the idea that tracking the behavior of people that come to your website is a good idea. Having some sort of analytics package in place is a must. I want to go a step beyond that. I want to talk specifically about goals. So what Google Analytics goals let you do is track more advanced behavior and get more detailed, easier to draw strategic conclusions from information about how your visitors are acting on your site. So if you do a search for Google Analytics goals, you're going to get a lot of information about the things a programmer needs to know to insert the tracking code into your website. And that is all good, very important, glad it's there. But there's not a lot of information for the strategic decision makers who will not be involved with, they won't be in the trenches putting the code in, but you need to understand what's possible with goals so that you understand how to use them, even if you're not actually putting them in. That's what I want to talk about here. So let's go ahead and jump into Google Analytics. Now I'm not going to cover, there's a lot of basic stuff out there about the reports that are here in the left column and digging down into where your traffic's coming from and lots of stuff like that. I want to talk specifically about goals. So I'm going to bounce over here to the admin area, and in particular there is a tab right here that I'm going to click on called goals. And here you can see some goals that that we use at Silver Square. Some of these are old, some of them are still active, but you'll see that there's type over here in this column. And there's URL destination, there's event. There's actually 4 different types of goals that you can use in Google. So let's go ahead and walk through the process of creating a new goal and talk through those. So we're going to call this goal test, and you can make it either active or inactive. And I just want to take a really top level view of these. The first one you see here is URL destination. What that does is let you define a goal that when visitors to your website get to a certain page, that's counted as a conversion on the goal. So a good example of that that we have in place here on the Silver Square site. So this is our site at Silver Square, and down here in the footer, this shows up on every page. It says get marketing tips in your inbox, and people can enter their email address right here and click subscribe. When they do that, they're shown this page that says thank you for subscribing. So up here, this URL, thank you for subscribing. If we take that and back in Google Analytics here, we've selected URL destination, the goal URL. It's that simple. You've basically just set that up, and now that is a goal that's tracking. You don't have to do anything fancier than that. And there's more things that you can get into, more details, but really I just want to keep it very top level that you can track that behavior. So this makes it very easy in that example for us to see how many people are subscribing to our newsletter. And you can do more complicated versions of that where someone clicks through several different pages. This is the type of thing that you'll see for shopping cart abandonment. You know, if you have a 3 or 4 step checkout process, you can set a goal milestone for each one of those points in the checkout process and see when people are dropping off and make decisions about how you want to move forward that way. So that's URL destination. We also have visit duration. So visit duration is a great way of seeing if you're capturing the interest of visitors. So you can say, I'll put in here 5 minutes. So it is if a visitor sticks around for at least 5 minutes on your website, that is a conversion. That's a good thing. The reason that this is useful is that you can see a good example is different traffic sources. How are they working? So you may find that the traffic that you have that comes from Facebook, for example, well, they stick around for 5 minutes all the time. So that's pretty good traffic. But you may find that your visitors from Twitter, you may get a lot more visitors from Twitter, but if they don't stick around for 5 minutes, well, maybe that's not as good. Maybe instead of spending time on Twitter, you should spend more time on Facebook. So that's an engagement goal that you can measure. And of course, you know, these numbers can be anything you want. If you want to set it for 2 hours, you can. Your site would have to be really content heavy for anyone to ever hit the 2-hour mark, but it's here. You could do that. So the other engagement goal is pages per visit. And this just lets you say, you know, when people visit at least 3 pages on the site, call that a conversion. that comes in handy because you may get a lot of traffic from search engines, for instance, where someone does a search, your site comes up in the results, they click through, look at that page, and either get the information they were looking for or not, but then close the browser and leave your site. And that doesn't help you nearly as much as somebody who comes to your site, then looks around and starts clicking on other pages, going a little deeper into the site. Those people are more likely to become paying customers, whatever your business model is. So pages per visit lets you track that level of engagement. And the reason it's different from the visit duration is you may have a site where each page only has 10 words, or there's a lot of pictures or things like that. So the actual visit duration, someone may only spend 10 seconds on a page, but they have taken in everything on that page. So pages per visit lets you see, oh, they looked at 10 different pages in our portfolio gallery. So that is still a level of engagement, even if they didn't hit the 5-minute mark necessarily. And then finally here, the fourth one we have is event. Now this is the most complex, but also the most powerful. So I'm really not going to get into any of the details of how the behind the scenes code works, but the things to understand about the event tracking is that it lets you track behavior that occurs on the same page. Most analytics stuff by default, it's doing points when someone goes to a new page. How many different pages do they go to your site? But there's activity that you want to measure that can all happen on the same site. Watching a video, you can even set up these events inside certain video objects where you can track when they hit stop, when they play, how many times do they watch it, which is super powerful. You can also track events for things like downloading a PDF, that does not call a new web page, so it would not normally get tracked, but you can create an event that when someone clicks on the download button, that is showing up. So things like that that's the idea behind goals, and that's why having analytics set up at all is useful, it's valuable, but goals really take it that next step forward where you can look at how your visitors are interacting with your site and really make some smart strategic decisions. It's great to know that you're getting a ton of traffic from Facebook or referrals from particular sites, but what are those people doing once they're here? If you can break it down and see how they're meeting these goals, you have a lot more powerful information to work with. So I hope that helps. Thanks.